to you watching this video. So for this video, we're going to discuss about Gantt chart. So a Gantt chart is constructed with horizontal axis representing the total time span of the project. So projected down into increments, may it be in days, weeks, or months. And a vertical axis representing the task or activities that make up the project. So horizontal bars of varying lengths represents the sequences, timing, and span for each week. So the Gantt chart is composed of activities, list of activities that needs to be done for the project. And we also have there the starting and the finishing time. So it can be an early start or late start. It can be an early finish or late finish. So Gantt chart will help us see whether we are already lagging behind our schedule, whether we are still on track with our schedule, and it will also help us visualize kung saan yung critical paths natin, and at the same time yung mga free floats natin. So where we can adjust our resources. Okay. So in doing the Gantt chart, we have here the procedure: identify the early start and the late finish of each activity, then construct the horizontal and vertical axis of the chart. Number 3, using either the early start or late start, draw horizontal bars corresponding to the duration of each activity. Okay, so we have here from our previous meeting, we were able to plot our activity on node. So we have here our activity on node, na plot na natin. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to link it with our Gantt chart. So the advantage of this is kung magkaroon tayo ng changes sa ating mga duration, sa ating late start, late finish, early start, early finish, and with our duration and our floats, magkaroon yan ng adjustment, then it is linked already with our Gantt chart. So makikita natin agad yung changes. So later, mas ma-appreciate natin yan. So what are the components? So we have here the activities, yung duration ng activities natin. We have here the TF, the FF, the ES, the EF, the LS, and the FF. So I'm just going to show you yung isang bar, but these were already pre-done. But what I'm going to show you is to show you at least one row so that masundan natin. So for the duration, it is equivalent to 4 here. Okay. Now for the TF, we have here 0. Wait. We forgot to place the equal sign. Next, we have the FF. Next, we have the early start. So ito yung this is our legend: early start, early finish, total float, late start, late finish, and our free float. Then we also have here the duration, and we have here the activity. So if you're wondering how we were able to create this network diagram, go back to our previous video, then you can watch it there. Okay, so let's continue. So we have the early start. Our early start is 0. So we have here our early start. Next, we have our early finish. This is our early finish. Next, we have our late start. Our late start is 0. No. That is 0. Wait. Yan. So that is our late start. Next, our LF is equivalent to this. Okay, so ganun lang. We just need to link everything from our activities to our activities here in our Gantt chart. So later we will appreciate why do we need to link this. Okay, now let's proceed. Now for the precedence, what I would suggest is since I will be giving you this copy, just have it as your exercise to do the precedence. So A precedes F, F precedes G, and so on. Okay, so let us focus on our Gantt chart. So for the early start is equivalent to our early start, which is equivalent to the starting date of the activity. Okay, yan yung ating early start for activity A. Then, actually, early start yan. Early start natin is early start. It is start of the activity plus our early start here. That is the formula actually. But, yeah, sige, gawin na lang natin na formula para hindi tayo malito. So, plus, wait. So, plus the early start here. Okay, it will still generate us the same answer. Therefore, we can copy this all throughout, then paste it. No. We need to place what we call this? We need to place the dollar sign before 30. So, kasi idadrag natin siya pababa. So, para hindi mag-shift. Okay? Yan. So, nakastick lang tayo dito sa here. Okay, so that is the early start of the activities. Now, for the early finish is equivalent to the start of the date of the activity plus we have here the early finish here minus 1. Kasi kung hindi natin i-minus yung 1, so sobra yung araw na magagawa natin yung activity. Okay? So, kung titignan mo, May 5, May 6, May 7, May 8. So, it's 4 days rather. And yung duration natin is 4 days. So, tama na. May minus 1. And from there, we simply copy that. So, copy, paste, paste. And we forgot. We forgot to place dollar sign before the number. So, para hindi, kasi pag hindi natin lagyan ng dollar sign, pababa, nag-adjust din pababa yung natin ito yung row yung row. So copy, paste, 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 paste natin. So, next would be for the late start. So, for the late start naman, same formula din. Okay, but this time, ilalagay natin siya sa baba. So, we can distinguish later the our bar. Okay, so late start is equivalent to the starting date plus the late start here. Okay, so, but let's not forget the dollar sign before the number. So, we can have it fixed. So, copy. Ganun lang. Paste. Yan. Okay. Next would be for the late finish. For the late finish, same procedure. The starting date of the activity plus the late finish here minus 1. Okay, so let's not forget dollar sign. And that's it, no? We simply copy. Okay. So, we're already done with our late start, late finish, early start, early finish. So, the next thing that we need to do would be to write now our dates. Okay, so yung mga date natin. So for this case, since what we're going to do is we're going to have it in days. Okay, so let us assume that our units is in days so we can appreciate it more. Okay, so pero pag masyadong mahaba yung days, we can have it in weeks or months depending on the availability of the resources and depende na rin sa pangailangan. Okay? So this will simply be equivalent to the starting date. Okay? So yan. And the starting activity rather, yeah, so the starting activity, let's say it is a project of 2021. So let's say it is May 5. The starting is on May 5, 2021. So our title here would be dates, the days. Okay, so yan, for the column title bar would be the days. So para hindi na tayo mahirapan, let's just simply copy plus 1 day. Okay, then drag it. So assuming hanggang dyan. Okay, so our duration here is 28 days. So tignan natin kung lumagpas ba tayo ng 28 days. If yes, then we are good to go. Okay, good. Umabot tayo ng 38 days. Okay, so after this, we are now ready to draw our bar chart or yung ating Gantt chart. Okay? So, i-highlight natin yung cells kung saan masasakop or saan hanggang saan yung project natin. Take note, hanggang 28th day tayo and hanggang dito tayo sa late finish dito. So, yan, 28 days and yan. Then, we are going to go to the format, conditional formatting. Press it down, then new rule tayo. Okay, then medyo magkaiba yung Microsoft and medyo magkaiba si Mac. What I'm using is Mac, but it will still have the same thing. Dapat ang pipiliin natin dito is this one, use formula to determine which cells to format. And ito yung cells na ifo-format natin. Okay? And we use the logic function end. So for this one, we press the starting update, which is this one, this cell. It should be greater or equal to our earliest start or early start, comma. Balik tayo dito, starting date. It should be less than or equal naman this time sa ating early finish. And close parenthesis. Okay? But let us not forget na may kailangan tayong ayusin dito because we are creating our formula based on the upper left cell in the range. Okay? So upper left cell in the range and the columns of the top row changing and the rows of the start and the end row dates. So may factors yung mga yan. So in short, ang gagawin natin, ang may dollar sign lang dapat would be the 32. So para naka-fix tayo dito for the column, then for the horizontal, before dapat wala tayong dollar before the number. Kung dito before the number yung may dollar, sa kabila before the number walang dollar sign. Okay, so same, before the W burahin natin, before the number burahin natin. Okay, and let's change the color. Let's say we want to choose color, let's say green. Yan. Enter. And that's it. So that is already our early start, based on early start. Gantt chart based on early start. Now, what if we're going to base it on our late start naman? So, late start, late finish. So, same lang. Huwag natin baguhin. Click our conditional formatting. New rule. Okay. Tapos, balik tayo dito sa classic. Piliin natin, use a formula to determine which cells to format. Then, same equation. It is equivalent to the starting date. We forgot the logic function. Logic function and close parenthesis. Our starting date should be greater or equal to our late start. So, it's either here or here, parehas lang. Okay, so late start and yan, comma. Then, balik tayo dito sa starting time natin. Then, this time, it should be less than or equal to the late finish. Okay, do not forget yung dollar sign natin. Yan. Press. Let's choose a color. Let's say we are choosing, what available colors are there? We have, let's say, blue. Yan. And press enter. So that is our Gantt chart depending on the late finish. So we will interpret that later. Now, how about the free float? So how are we going to plot our free float? So to plot the free float, same. Huwag natin tanggalin itong naka-highlight. We choose our conditional formatting, then add new rule. Then for that, same pa rin tayo. Classic. Then use a formula to determine which cells to format. Then same equation, it is equivalent to logic function and close parenthesis. Then this time, ang pipiliin natin is the early finish. So, no. It is the starting time rather ulit. So, greater than or equal to the early finish. Yun, sa early finish ng taas and sa late finish ng sa baba. Okay? So, comma. Then, balik ulit tayo sa early starting, sa starting period ng project. This time, less than or equal to the late finish sa baba. Okay? Then, do not forget our dollar sign. Okay? Then, we choose a color. So, let's say, ang gusto natin gamitin would be color red para ma-distinguish natin na yun ay float. No, we forgot the +1. So here we need to place a +1 kasi if you're not going to place a +1 dito sa una, so ito early starting time natin, tapos yung early start +1. Kasi pag hindi tayo nag +1, if may float tayo, i-occupy niya yung last ng early start natin. Likewise dito, katulad dito, pag may float, ito for sure meron to because this is our late start, so may float tayo dito. Instead na dito siya mag-start, dito siya mag-i-start. So we need to place +1 there. Okay? Yan. Ayun, so dun siya nag-start. So pag hindi natin lagyan ng +1, dito siya mag-i-start. Okay? So yan. So this is now our Gantt chart. So are we done now? No, we're not yet done. So i-maximize natin yung function ng ating Excel. So yan. Instead na 1 2 3 4 5 6, it is best kung gawin natin siyang Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on. Okay? So what we're going to do here is that this is equivalent to text. Then we have here this, the first date, then comma, tapos DDD. Yan. Lalabas dyan is Monday. Okay, so the project started on Wednesday. So, pwede natin gawin is to drag this so we can check na yung mga days kung saan magfo-fall yung list of activities. Now, if we find this one to be congested, what we can do is to add additional to add additional condition. So, we introduce left. Then we have here comma 1. Okay, so that is yan, W Wednesday and so on. So yung yung first letter na lang yung makikita natin. Now makikita natin dito rin na our activity would fall on a Wednesday. So kadalasan ang activity natin nag-start yan during a Monday. So it will be starting on a Monday. So let's try to adjust it later. Okay? So the next thing that we can show is to have a display on the week. Okay, so makikita natin which activities will fall on week 1, week 2, week 3 end, week 4 end, so on. So let's say let's try to adjust. Let's say this is May 3, so that would fall on a Monday, so Monday to Sunday. Okay, so this is week 1. So let's format the cell. We have here merge cell. Then let's just simply equate week 1 with this one. Okay, with the first day. Okay, then format natin yung cell na yan. Format cell, then piliin nyo sa numbers. Yan. Then punta tayo sa it should be the date. Then tignan nyo ito, yung lalabas yung day at saka yung date. So that would, for example, Wednesday, May 3, 2021. Okay? So yeah. So May 3, 2021. So just simply copy that one. So Control C, yan. Control V, Control V. Then yan. From there, we can see which activity falls on which week. Okay? Yan. So another thing that we can also do is to introduce the week. Okay, or we can display the week. Paano yon? So here we have we need to introduce the week. So we have here week 0, like this one. This is week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, so namumove natin yan, nakikita natin, for example, tapos na tayo sa week 1, then we can proceed with week 2. So how are we going to do that? So we have here the display week. So let's say we are on week 1. Okay, and we are going to link that from our first activity, first schedule. So our first day of project. So we have here, place here $sign before the letter and $sign before the number. Then we add this display week here, -1 times 7 for the days. Okay? So yan. So lalabas na. So let's say yan, that is week 1. Let's say we have here week 0. So week 0, you can see this is your week 0. So there's no activity for week 0 because our starting activity would be week 1. Okay? Now let's say that is 1. Okay? Next activity, week 2. Okay? So yan, nakikita natin yung progression. And then we also have here week 3. Then we have week 4. Okay? Then going back to week 1. And then we can also introduce here yung tinatawag nating scroller o scroll bar. Yeah? So, yan. So, may scroll bar tayo. Then, format control. Per page, we're going to introduce one only. Then the link that we are going to, the cell that we're going to link is the display week. Okay, then press enter. And another one. Okay, so yeah, week 0, week 1. Okay, so yeah, week 0, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, so yeah. So those are just additional features of your Excel. Then we have here, tapos we can also have the showing of the day. Like for example, gusto mong makita yung specific activities for today. Okay, so hindi natin makikita yung today because the duration here is on May 5 pa. Let's say, let's adjust, no? Let's say we have, today is April 25 or 26. I think it's 26. So let's say it is April 20, the project started April 22. Okay? So titignan natin, yan. So let's say the project started at April 22. So everything adjusted. Okay? But how are we going to show kung anong day? Kung anong day na tayo? Okay, so we need to highlight that part. After highlighting that one, we're going back to conditional formatting, then apply new rule. Okay, so for this part, same pa rin, classic. Then use a formula to determine which cells to format. And this time, we are not going to use a logic function. So it is equivalent to the first date. Again, so the first date. Then, wag natin kalimutan na tanggalin yung $sign before W is equivalent to today, close and open parenthesis. Then, let's change our format so that hindi tayo malito. So, for the fill, let's place it automatic. Let's use automatic. Then, for the border, we use color red. Okay, and sa side lang. So, apply, press enter, and another okay. So, there. You can see that it today is April 26, 2021. So the day today is April 26, 2021. And these are the activities that you need to do. Okay, so how are we going to interpret this diagram? So we have here the early start and early finish. So like what we have said from our previous discussion, since there are no float for activity A, F, G, H, M, L, M, and L. Okay? These activities are critical activities. From dito pa lang makikita natin, we do not have red. Yung red kasi sabi natin is our float. Okay? So, since there are no float, therefore, these activities cannot be adjusted. So, these activities are critical activities. Okay? So, we have here on a Tuesday. Okay? So, 21. So, let's try to adjust. Gawin natin to April 21. Let's see. Okay? If, because that would fall on a Monday. So, for 21, 2021. Okay? So, ano? Okay. So, that is Thursday pala. So, may at 19, 18. So, gawin natin tong 18. So, yan. So, that falls, no, that's 19. My bad. So, that falls on a Monday. Okay, so Monday. So, the first activity falls on a Monday. So, like what we have said, ano yung gagawin natin? Ayun. So, dito makikita natin na on Monday, the very first day of our project, these are the activities na pwede natin gawin. Okay? And ang kinagandahan kasi, the advantage of Gantt chart, it helps us to see which activities are on schedule, which activities are having delays, and mas nakikita natin, or it helps us see the interconnection of each activity. Okay? So, this activity will not start unless this activity is finished. Of course, with the precedence here. Okay? But there are activities that which are not dependent on some activities, so we can have a we can start them with respect to their starting in early start or early finish, or we can also adjust them with respect to their free float. Okay? So dito nakikita natin yung pagkakasunod-sunod kung kailan natin gagawin activities, when to do the activities, or when is a certain activity must be done, when a certain activity must be finished, how long must it be done. Okay, like for example, activity A, it has a duration of 4 days, so you can visualize it. Na-visualize mo siya, hindi yung nasa isip mo lang, okay, 4 days, blah, blah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, blah, blah, blah. Here, we are given a graphical representation of our activities. Likewise with activity F, it falls on a Friday. Okay, the start falls on a Friday and it is good for 5 days. Okay, so we can also see here the progression. Okay, Then, yeah. Then, we have here activity K. Activity K has how many duration days? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It has 10 durations or 10 days. Tapos yung free float natin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 days of adjustment. So we can adjust it for 7 days. Now, if we are to follow strictly this schedule, today is April 26. We are doing activity F and it's already on its 4th day. And activity K is already on it's also on its 4th day. And likewise with activity D, it's already on its 3rd day. So dito nakikita natin, okay, ito yung mga magkakasabay. So it gives us a graphical representation. Now this is just one way of showing you a Gantt chart. So there are also other applications, like you have Microsoft Word, and you also have here the graph. So if you want to use that, pwede nyo gamitin yung graph ni insert graph ni Excel. But the advantage kasi of this one, yung advantage kasi nito is pag nagkaroon tayo ng adjustment, because we can adjust we can see the adjustment right away. Like for example, let's try to see here activity F. We know that activity F here is a critical activity. So instead of 5, naging na siya, let's say 8 days. Okay? So signan natin dito si activity F, gagalaw siya. Okay, enter. So there, right there and then nakikita natin that the adjustments made, kung saan day siya magfo-fall. Yan. Okay? So let's try another one. Let's try let's say H. H here is 3 days. So let's say that is already 6 days. Okay? So san si H? Ito si H. Then if in-enter natin, mag-a-adjust again. So there was already an adjustment right there and then. Okay? So and dito rin makikita natin na meron tayong mali. Bakit? Bakit tayo may mali? Kasi dapat magkaparehas yung haba ng magkaparehas yung haba ng late start tsaka late finish natin. Okay? Like dito, 4 pa rin siya. Dito, it should not be 4. Okay, so ang mali natin is this one, itong part na to. Why? Because take note, our critical activities here adjusted. So there was an extension. There were extensions. So here, ang na-highlight lang natin is hanggang dito lang. So what we need to do is to extend that also. Okay, so there, you can see. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yun. So this is one of the advantage of using Gantt chart of MS Excel, and together with the activity on node, because every items are interlinked. So if you're going to adjust one scenario, one item here, then things will also follow. So makikita mo kaagad kung saan ka magkakaroon ng adjustments. Okay, so makakapag-decision ka if anong gagawing remedy, or ano yung additional costing, ano yung additional kailan mo papapasukin yung mga tao, yun. So makikita mo kaagad yung kailangan na adjustments. Okay, now like what I've said a while ago, marami pang ibang applications na pwede mong gamitin. Gantt chart, you have the Microsoft Word, you have the PowerPoint, and etc. But yun yung advantage ng using na paggamit natin ng Microsoft Excel. But like what I've said, Microsoft Excel is just limited, no? Because if you want to focus on project management, we have a specific application for that, software application. So we have Primavera Physics, and we also have the MS Project. So mas maraming feature yung mga software na yon.